I'm Napoleon Maddox, beatboxer from Cincinnati, Ohio. I lead a hip-hop group called Is What. The work that I do covers hip-hop, jazz, blues, rock, and other forms of improvised music. Part of my work is as an educator, and this program has been designed with the hope that learning a bit about hip-hop, you can use what I do in your teaching practices. It can help you teach creative writing in the classroom. Can also help you teach rhythm concepts in music. Children are already quite interested in hip-hop, so this is a great way to bring that energy into the classroom and use hip-hop to teach a number of things to your students.
This is the life we chose. The grab teach you face issues and fight your foe, cause you know this is the life we chose. Sweating in the rain, burning in the sunshine. Every day another sacrifice time. I knew what I was facing when I made my mind. To free the bass and lace these lines on trouble block path, I adapt, that's mine. If you don't know your maps, I won't follow your fine. But I'm on another quest for my people in mind. An elevated situation with exquisite design. You wish I should have come right no mind. I was given a gift.
All right, let's learn how to beatbox. First, I'll give you a little demonstration of what I do. Keep in mind, I've been doing this for a while. Now let's talk about something simple.
You all are professional beatboxers, aren't you? You just came here disguised as students, but you're actually beatboxers because you sound really good. Yeah. He admits it. He gave it up. He gave up the truth. Say boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. What else you got up there, Shaney?
There's these two cymbals here called the hi-hats. They sound like this.
You mean they sound like... What else you got up there, Shaney?
In the middle, this drum here is called the snare drum. It sounds like this.
Okay, so you can go, or you can say, let's do the second one. Nice. All right, now let's do some beatboxing. Let me see. Give us a pattern, Shaney, that we can follow. Let's add two booms somewhere. Let me see where we can add it. Keep going. Boom, cat, boom, cat, boom, cat, boom, boom, cat, boom, cat, boom, boom, cat.
A useful way to access beatboxing in your classroom is to create a grid system, and then write the names of the sounds in the spaces of the grid. Let's start off with some simple beatbox patterns. Boom, baps, 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 boom, baps. Let's try another one, this time slightly more complex. Boom, baps, boom, boom, baps, boom, baps, boom, boom, baps, boom, baps, boom, boom, baps, boom, baps, boom, boom, bap. Okay, let's take it a little further. Boom, baps, boom, boom, bap, boom, baps, boom, boom, bap, boom, baps, boom, boom, bap, boom, baps, boom, boom, bap.
Boom, boom, cat, boom, cat, boom, boom, cat, boom, cat, boom, boom, cat, boom, cat,
The other thing you can do is split the pattern into 3 different parts and assign them to 3 different groups of children in your classroom. We'll start with the hi-hat. Now, introducing the bass drum. Boom, 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 boom. Now let's introduce the snare. Boom, boom, bap, boom, bap, 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 boom, boom, bap, boom. Or you can add as many parts as you like. 4, 5, 6, etc. Hip-hop has a great history of sampling. It goes back to the time when DJs would take 2 copies of the same record and re-cue that record each time on the same section that they wanted to play. So it would go something like this. So that the beat seemed as if it was endless, when in fact it was just a break on each record. Here's an exercise that demonstrates how to use samples from pre-existing material to make new songs. We're going to use 2 songs from the Sing Up Song Bank, John Kanaka Naka and Sewa Dedende.
3, 4. John Kanaka Naka. Wow, that was really good. See if we can keep that going. John Kanaka Naka.
In order for your song to sound like a complete piece of music, it needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. For now, we'll start with the beat. Then we'll add 2 samples, and we'll end with 1 sample. Boom, cha, boom, boom, cha, boom, cha, boom, boom, cha, boom, cha, boom, boom, cha, boom, cha, boom, boom, cha. John Kanaka Naka, boom, cha, boom, boom, cha. John Kanaka Naka, boom, cha, boom, boom, cha. John Kanaka Naka, Sewa. John Kanaka Naka, Sewa. John Kanaka Naka, Sewa. 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 Your song might have 4 or 5 samples. You can make your arrangement as complex as you like. Some things to keep in mind when you're selecting your samples. Do the samples work together well rhythmically? Do the samples work together well melodically? And can the children sing the samples comfortably? To make sure the students can sing the samples, practice them separately before putting them together.
From the trailer parks to the projects, from the settlements to the rope decks, these are fresh phones from the rectangles and the latch keys.
They are enjoying it, and it's strange because children, you thought that would actually let themselves go and really be into it, are holding themselves back, and the children like are quite quiet at school are actually really getting into it, so it's really funny to see, you know, different children react in different ways.
Definitely enjoying it. The faces, you can tell with the faces that they're enjoying it. They're a class that doesn't normally they struggle to listen. They've got so much to say and they want to say it all at once. And for them to sit there and actually not take their eyes off something, then definitely enjoying it, yeah.
Storytelling is an important part of rap. Rappers have always used personal experiences to inspire them when writing their lyrics. To help your students improve their rapping, you can use something they're familiar with, like a nursery rhyme. In this case, we'll use the rhythm of Ba Ba Black Sheep. Start with a story. It should be something relevant to the lives of the students. Ask them for words that relate to the story. Once you have the words, you can begin to structure a sentence, but remember to try to fit them to the rhythm of Ba Ba Black Sheep.
So what I'm gonna do, let me see, to find my rap here on my paper, I wrote it down. We're gonna write our raps all together. I wrote a rap down in the same rhythm of Ba Ba Black Sheep. Would you like to hear it? Yeah! Oh, here we go. So first, I'm gonna start off with the rhythm of Ba Ba Black Sheep, just so that you can hear it, and then I'll tell my story. 1, 2, 1, 2. It says Ba Ba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full. Ba Ba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full. Lock my boot, didn't have my keys. Come sir, locksmith, help me please. Stayed outside and waited for the man who can help me with the keys in hand.
Ba Ba Black Sheep, have ye any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full. Locked my boot and didn't have my keys. Come sir, locksmith, help me please. Now let's hear that rap with our beatbox and our samples. John, naka, naka, boom, 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 John, naka, naka, say what? Locked my boot, didn't have my keys. Come sir, locksmith, help me please. Stayed outside, waited for the man who could help me with keys in hand. Locked my boot, didn't have my keys. Come sir, locksmith, help me please. Stood outside and waited for the man who could help me with keys in hand.
Okay, so that's a good first line. Squeak, squeak, chipmunk. And then what do we want to talk to the chipmunk about?
Squeak, squeak, chipmunk,
Give me all your nuts. That's an idea. So,
Squeak, squeak, black chipmunk.
well, do we have, how many beats is that? Squeak, squeak, black chipmunk.
So remember, hip-hop is all about attitude, style, and flair. Encourage your children to get into it, feel it, show that attitude, let loose.
1, 2, 3, 4. Snakes are smooth if you touch them right. They're predators with teeth that bite. Make sure you hold them tight, otherwise they can give you a fright. It's incredible what they see at night, because of their great eyesight. I'm being squeezed by a boa constrictor, and I don't like it at all.
So, what's next? Well, you can mix up the nursery rhymes to make more interesting rhythmic patterns. Ba Ba Black Sheep, hickory dickory dock. One for the master, the mouse ran up the clock. Finally, if you really want to get good at rapping, you have to practice, explore, experiment, listen to the masters, but most importantly, have fun.
It was just awesome. I was really amazed. It's really fun doing raps and just performing in front of people.
I think I could take almost all the elements of the workshop this morning, certainly the way that it built up step by step. The children themselves, it's the imagination that they've got, and they've got no idea how to structure it or how to organise it or how to link it to popular music. So they didn't know today that by coming up with a silly sound or a silly rhyme, that you could then create hip-hop from that. So I think making the links between what they love and the skills they need, that's the best thing we could do. And I think they could also almost recreate that themselves. Now they've got the ideas and the structure. I've been mentally making notes in my head, and so is my colleague as well, who's quite into dance and music herself. We've both been looking at each other going, that's really good. I think with just a few jottings and notes down on a piece of paper, it's the format, how you get from a warm-up into sort of sounds, into linking those together into musical phrases, or creating a little composition. I think it's that teachers need, really. We're usually willing, we just haven't quite got the skills in the background.
I think particularly taking an existing song, so when the kids had a go with Wheels on the Bus and they gave it a different, Cameron said, a different vibe, a different groove. I think that sort of thing, finding a song that already exists and looping it and changing it slightly, putting the child's own imagination on that is probably really simple to do. You could do that with a topic that a school's looking at in the classroom, taking an idea, a few key words out of a key topic and putting a rap to that.
I think they'll probably have a go. They might do it in a music session, bring it into the music classes and divide them up into sections and put their own little raps together. And they can combine with music with literacy now as well. Sort of maybe a story that they've written, they could turn it into a rap and put it to their own little... We could have probably half the class telling the story while half the class pretending to make noises and do the music for it.
You could easily use them in literacy, your maths, definitely, numeracy, definitely. Because you could, you know, do your times tables to, you know, the upbeat, and see if they can use it when they're doing poetry.
Traditionally, rap music or hip-hop doesn't really fit in with the sort of school curriculum. You buy a resource, you buy a CD, there's no examples of rap or hip-hop on it. There's no activities that suggest children should warm up their voices using hip-hop rhythms. So I think it could translate really well because it's something the children think they love, and they do love it. They love the freedom it gives and improvisation. And I think it just needs schools to have the examples and to look like you would do with any other piece of music at how you could use that with the children.
Some of the kids have got more confident actually. The ones that didn't really want to take part this morning have actually been split up from sort of their best friends into different groups, and it's helped because they've overcome a lot of the shyness that they had this morning first thing, and they've actually come out of the shell a bit and joined in a lot more.
I love rapping. I absolutely love it. I'm pretty sure my mates loved it too. Yeah. Because you mix all the music and jazz and everything. And it's really and the ideas just come to your head. I've learnt that music can be very easy to do.
A farm on the turf where the words we don't think up. This is the life we chose. The grab tissues, face issues, and fight your foe, cause you know this is the life we chose. Sweating in the rain, burning in the sunshine. Every day another sacrifice time. I knew what I was facing when I made my mind. To free the bass and lace these lines on trouble block path. I tap that's mine. If you don't know your maps, I